Hey guys, John here from Bring the SEO. Today going to do something a little bit different. I want to share with you a question that one of the members in the group asked recently, which was, when you get backlinks, do you get them to your home page, your location page, service pages, or all of the above? Although the answer to this might seem obvious, depending upon what you're actually working on, this is still a really great question because there's a lot more to it than you might realize. I answered this in the group in a Loom video, and afterwards I thought, wow, this is a really useful video that I think others might be interested in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my response with you. I'll answer the question, I'll give my reasons why, I outline certain strategies, and what you really need to be mindful of when it comes to building, not only building links, but more importantly, the discussion that needs to happen before you even begin the process. The first question you're asking here is, when you get backlinks, do you drive them to the home page? In fact, let me back up a second. What you want to be doing is having a conversation with the client. This is tremendously important, and this is already covered in the training. You have to ask the client, where do you want us to focus our efforts? Always start there. Okay, it doesn't make sense, and maybe, I don't want to make assumptions here that you're not doing this, but if you aren't, you definitely should be, and everyone else in the group should be doing this as well. They should be asking the question to the client, where's the money in this for you? What's your most profitable product or service, right? They will know, they will tell you, and chances are that's where they'll want to focus their efforts. Let me give you an example. If you're working with a plumber, and they clear blocked drains, and each time they do a job like that, where they've got to tear up concrete and pull bathrooms apart, that's a $15,000 job. Chances are they'll want you to focus on that, not replacing a leaky shower head, which might be a $60 job, right? So you've got to ask the client the question, where do you want us to focus our efforts? Okay, and these should be short-term goals or objectives that you continually accomplish throughout various stages of the campaign, right? You bring a client on, where do you want us to focus our efforts? Well, we'd really like to push this product here. Okay, great. Let's focus on that, okay, until we've achieved that, and then we can look at doing something else. This is something that's really everyone in the group needs to be mindful of. Because if you're not doing this, chances are you're going to be just blasting content and links and shit all over the place without any sort of objective in mind. That's pretty dumb. Okay, and when you do that, the client will be thinking, well, okay, well, what's happening? What are we actually doing? What are we focusing on? Okay, you've got to be really clear. The client should be well aware of exactly what the objectives are at every stage of the campaign. He should not be thinking, what are they doing over there? What are we working towards? Okay. And this is why I say, like, when you have conversations with clients, don't be talking about technical bullshit. You want to be saying, hey, we're driving our efforts around helping you get sell more widgets. And the client, if you're doing a good job, the client will be saying, shit, we're selling more widgets than we ever have. Brilliant. Now, what does that look like, or what should that look like? Let's jump into whiteboard real quick, and I'll take you through this. So I put this together real quick just to show you visually how I do it, and this is how I would recommend everyone else does it as well. So let's say that the client has said to you, Leah, we want to sell more red widgets. Okay, perfect. Red widgets. We have a page that's dedicated to red widgets. Let's say it's down here. Red widgets. That's our red widgets page. It's optimized for that term. It's got our red widgets products on there. People can make their way through to the page, look at the product purchase. Boom, we've made a sale. Great. Rule number one, and I spoke about this in one of my other threads in the group here. Before you start driving backlinks, you should be making every effort to improve your on-page, right? Shitty on-page, let's say, let me give you an example of what I mean by that. When your on-page is poor, it might take you 1,000 links to move the page up. When your on-page is good, It may only take you 5. That's an extreme example, but I'm trying to demonstrate my point. Too many SEO consultants go, all right, we need to promote this page, and they start fucking blasting it with links. That doesn't make any sense. You've got to make sure that you do everything you can to ensure that the on-page optimization in this example for red widgets is spot on. So always start with your on-page. Always start there. Now let's get to your question here. Where do we drive links to? Okay, so the objective in this case, a client has said we want to sell more red widgets. So that's our objectives. You say to everyone in the team, hey, guys, Michelle wants to sell more red widgets. Let's do it. So let's start with our anchor text. So remember, we want to emulate a natural link. We want to emulate a natural link profile. We're not going to over-optimize anchors. We're not going to be using exact match anchors over and over and over again. So let's just say for shits and giggles, and I've scribbled down some notes here for point of reference, so I'm not wasting anyone's time. We're going to use the following anchors. Red widgets, best red widgets, okay, widgets, red in color, and remember, you should always be using these anchors in a way that isn't forced, synthetic or artificial. Okay, you've got to make sure that you're using your anchors within your articles in a way that reads naturally. Okay, don't just keywords. I see so many shitty articles that are published or posted for guest posting purposes, and the anchor text doesn't even fit the sentence. So don't do that. Affordable widgets. Okay, let's do one more. And I don't know, widgets. And click here. And maybe if you like more info or something like that. Right, so these would be the anchors that you're using on external sites. Guest posts, let's say, linking back to red widgets. So you would link all of these terms, right? You would take all of these terms and you would link them to this page here, red widgets. Now, I'm going to slide over here just so I don't run out of room. Now, it's tremendously important when you're doing this that you use, I would say, the 80-20 rule. What the hell is the 80-20 rule? Well, let's say each month or each billing cycle, you're pushing 10 links. In total, you've got the budget to do 10 links, right? You know the client wants to promote red widgets. That doesn't mean that shouldn't mean that you push 100% of all of your link building opportunities to this page over and over and over again. Why? Because that's unnatural, and it's not likely given a natural link profile, right? This is why I say reverse engineer, emulate a natural, you want to try and emulate a natural link profile. And if you're pushing 100% of your links constantly at this page here, at some point you will probably find that page will stop moving up. And in fact, sometimes it will start going backwards. Okay, Google's not stupid. This goes right back to 2012 with the release of Penguin. Okay, so how do we overcome this? How do we prevent this from happening? Emulate a natural link profile while still getting good results. You've got to use the 80-20 rule. Okay, the 80-20 rule means 80% primary links, which are these ones. Okay, pushing at the target page around the product or service that the client wants to promote. And 20% what I call offset links. What the fuck are offset links? Okay, so offset might be things like, I've got some scribbled down here, ABC widgets. Okay, that would be a brand anchor. Widgets. Another one might be contact or contact ABC. Another one might be meet the team. Widgets by ABC. And another one might be, just let's just say pointing to a blog post, the random blog post somewhere, right? Now these links, these offset links, these would be pushed to random locations on the website. So ABC widgets, it would make sense to push that to the home page because that's a brand. Widgets could be pushed to the parent category page for widgets. Contact would be pushed obviously to, let's say, the contact page. Okay, meet the team. Hey, let's push a link to the about page, and so on and so on. Okay, the objective and the whole point of doing that is, like I said, to emulate a natural link profile. Now, does it have to be 80-20? Can it be 70-30? Yes, it can. Can it be 50-50? Sure. It really depends on the number of links you're pushing. If you're only driving 3 links, let's say, per billing cycle, then you would just drive all 3. And maybe every 3rd or 4th cycle, you would drive 1 or 2 somewhere else. Okay, but if you've got the budget and you're driving 50 links, you would probably change that ratio. You would probably bring it down to maybe 60-40. Again, because you want to emulate a natural link profile. This is all about risk, lowering the risk. Okay, we don't want to do anything that's going to cause problems. Now, this last point here, when I say a blog post, right, now the blog should be considered the engine of your website. Now, let's say in the blog, you have several articles where you've spoken about red widgets, the benefits of using red widgets, how red widgets are originated, how much the red widgets cost, blah, 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 blah. These are all content marketing opportunities that you should be doing anyway with your client. As soon as they put their hand up and say, we want to focus on red widgets, boom, you jump on, you start doing Q&As, having conversations around red widgets. But your offset links, you could certainly point your offset links to some of those blog posts talking about red widgets. Okay, and that would, of course, link back to your red widgets page. But the whole point of the offset links is it's really to it's about diversification, right? You don't want to make it obvious that you're building out an unnatural link profile. So that right there is the right way to do it. Okay, that's all from me today. Hope you've enjoyed that one. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers. Hey, if you've enjoyed this video and you'd like to learn more, head over to bringtheseo.com. We provide business development training for SEO consultants wanting to improve their processes, increase profits, and scale to $100,000 a month or more without all the stress and overwhelm.